We are live. Welcome, viewers, to the biggest and the best online business on the globe. Welcome to our business chat. Welcome to Oluchi and Humphrey. If you are tuning in for the first time, welcome to the best and the biggest growing online business community in the world. I repeat that again, because currently we have like 600 to 700 new members come to join our business community every week. For me, this is the biggest growing online platform I've ever seen based on my own experience. And that is because we have a system, an amazing system that is doing all the amazing job for us, producing wonderful results for us while we are busy with everyday activities of life, catching up with other important things. And what we do on this chart, we bring in real people that are rocking this business just to show you, how doable this business is by anyone at all. And speaking about busy lifestyle, I have an interesting guest today. I'm so puffed up for this chat. I used to pat myself on the back for being a super mom of four. But guess what? When I met Vera, I doffed my hat for her. Because she beats me to it. She is a super mom of six, living in a busy community, the United Kingdom. I don't know how she's doing it. And she is a digital entrepreneur. So today, just sit back, grab a cup of tea, or just cold water, whatever will make you relax, and listen to Vera today. She's going to share her experience with us on this amazing business journey. And she'll give us some tips, some reasons why some people would, some reasons that people give why they don't want to be part of this business or why they don't want to be entrepreneurs. You call it excuses, but for them, it is a good reason. So Vera will share her own experience on this and also possible solution to that. I don't want to waste much of your time. Let's get the ball rolling. Hello, Vera. I'm so excited to have you on this chat. How are you doing?
Hello, Oluchi. Thank you so much for having me. I am good. I'm pushing it. I'm here, and thank you for for having me here. I'm excited. Hopefully, it's going to be a great chat session. Thank you so much.
Yes, it's going to be. And straight to the business of the day, Vera. Can you give us a quick intro of yourself, please?
Okay, thanks once again. My name is Vera Ugbomo. I am originally from Nigeria, Edo State to be precise. I am a mother of six, as Oluchi has already told you. I'm a mother of six, under 11 actually. And I'm a wife, happily married. I'm a healthcare assistant here in Ireland. And I'm also studying to become a psychologist. So also I do this digital business as a side hustle, for myself. Hopefully it's going to be my my main business within a very short time. Thank you.
Of course. And thank you for that introduction. So viewers, I wasn't just making up the story. If you think you're busy, I think after meeting Vera today, you should have a rethink. She's super busy, super mom of six, under 11. That is the most intensive age of care. You have to do virtually everything for them. Oh my goodness. I don't know how Vera is coping because I have 4 and the 4 of them are under 10 and I can relate. She goes 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my goodness. And she's working in a busy industry, the healthcare industry. And she's also studying psychology. Oh my goodness. I think that psychology is really helping her out. You can see she's so cheerful, so relaxed in the midst of everything. And she also has a digital business on the side. And that brings me to my next question, Vera. What is your reason for becoming an entrepreneur? Despite your current job and your career that you have.
Thanks again for that question. It's a very, very good one. I get asked a lot, I guess I had the same question a lot. The thing is, I actually had all my children here in Ireland, okay? I remember when I got here, the children actually came very fast anyway. So we were working at our jobs. And then when the children started coming, which was almost every year, we were still at the same job. But then there was something that wasn't, increasing for us. We were at the same job, but the salary range was still the same. So in other words, we're having more expenses, and then the income was, a constant. So we have to look for a solution, to help ourselves, because as we know, as immigrants, we always, we don't just always look at ourselves alone. We have to also look at other people who will be depending on us, from back home, like families, and of course sometimes friends, based on our upbringing. We are community oriented. So yes, so we started different kind of traditional business, but it wasn't working for us because it required our presence. It requires a location, a fixed location. It required it required lots of energy, but that did not really work out for us based on our own situation at the time. So we started looking at other options, and then eventually I personally stumbled over an internet business, but that particular one did not actually suit us because of the the business model. So anyway, we took our time, and then kept looking until a particular day I had an injury from work, and that actually opened my eyes to so many things. In as much as I was still at work, my salary still kept coming anyway because I was on sick leave. But then there was something that actually, redirected my mindset, which was I couldn't function at home due to the nature of the injury. I couldn't function at home. I could even hardly, get out from bed, to do anything. So as I was, nursing myself back to health, I came across a post, or rather an ad on my news feed. I did not take it seriously because of the experience I had before, and I wasn't ready, to invest any money or any time on something that wouldn't generate, the result that I desired. So I took my time, but then for some reason there was something that was very different about that ad. It was the fact that this individual was an immigrant. It was the fact that this individual also, came from a location where people also they're also community oriented, and this person was also, working in the healthcare, settings. So it kind of just resonated, straight with me. So, and I said, you know what, I am going to look at it. And the fact that she also said the webinar was, complimentary. So I wasn't obliged to, to do anything. I was only invited to see it. And if it is for me, then I could actually, take the step, further. So I clicked on the link and then got the information, to watch the webinar. And I tell you, that was my best. That was one of the best decisions that I said I ever made, with regards to, playing with my phone or playing on the, having something to do in the digital world. And like I said, the rest is history. But the fact that I clicked on that particular link and I saw for myself, and I knew straight away. I knew straight away, because I would have a very, very strong instinct about anything. A good discernment, if you ask me. So I knew straight away that this was it. One, numbers don't lie. Two, these were live. It was live, webinar, and then I could actually see people whose life has been changed as a result of this. And then I remember when I took the step further, to join the community, there was something that actually, you know, amazed me so much, which I never really remembered, but it just kind of started, you know, coming up, you know, recently, was the fact that I saw a lot of people, you know, who were living in diaspora, a lot of Nigerians, a lot of different people who were living in diaspora, who also, you know, were in the business and they were actually prospering. So I said to myself, this is it. And then, so the rest is history. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, Vera, I'm so happy for you. But then I got so emotional, you know, when you had that injury at work. And that is the nature of our work, you know. And this is one of the reasons we'll tell our viewers, our friends and families who are showing some concerns, you know, some interest in this business. It's good to have your job, to be honest. We all have our jobs, and a lot of people actually love their career. They wouldn't just do away with it. And that's the beauty of our business. It does not interfere with your lifestyle. It complements it. It kind of supplements.
It doesn't at all.
If that's the right word. So imagine if you found this business before you had that accident. It wouldn't be so much of a of a trauma for you. No. And maybe you wouldn't have had that accident if you found this business.
I wouldn't because like I said, what happened was, I remember anytime that we needed, like, you know, to do something extra, you know, financially, I had to, you know, pick up extra shifts, even out of my own, you know, out of my own contracts. So the fact that, you know, I was actually, and when I do that, the result of it was that I was actually missing at home, you know, missing, you know, so many things, you know, with my family, with my children. And the fact that at some point I changed, you know, I started working nights, but because I felt that that was, you know, that was best for me as a mom. But the fact is that I was still, even though I still lived under the same roof with them, I missed out a lot, you know, from their lives. Not just because I am working, but because I was overworking, because trying to, you know, make up for the extras, you know, just to make sure that, you know, needs are being met, you know. So yeah.
Exactly. And you know, I so much identify with you because I also work in the healthcare industry. I work in a busy NHS hospital, and I also do nights because I think nights is just something that can work for me as an immigrant with no family to help out with my kids. So it's just me and my husband. But the pain is this: every time I do night and I come back, the next day is all taken over because I'm trying to sleep, I'm trying to meet up. And it's like my kids can't even get to bed because mommy is sleeping. And if she can't sleep, she's so tired, she's so exhausted. She can't even do much. She's so angry. So that's just
exactly. That's it. Yeah.
And I'm also grateful that I found this business because it's an alternative for me now. I have an option. Before I didn't have an option, but now I have an option. So I'm building a business. Fingers crossed, by God's grace and God's blessings. I'll say bye-bye to my job as well.
Definitely. Definitely, because like I said, you know, the model of this business, there's one good thing about this business is that we can actually pass this down to whoever we want to pass it down to, you know. That's the beauty of it. It's not just something that you do, you know, like you just do touch and go. It is something that you can actually, a legacy that you can leave, you know, for your family, a legacy that you can leave for them, and then they can, you know, continue from wherever you stop. So, which is
exactly, exactly. And you know, one of my guests was saying that if you are the managing director of a company or in a company, maybe you are a manager, you work so hard for the company and you've risen to a very high position. As soon as you retire, they're not going to give the position to your son or your daughter and say, oh, it's just with you, it ends with you, so you retire.
Exactly.
That's it. So, but with this one, you can pass it on. So it's a lifetime business, a lifetime legacy for your kids or your loved ones. I want to say thank you to those that are watching us online. Hi, sis, and Christina Amaka. She said, watching from South Africa. Thank you very much, sister, for watching. I hope you get some value. All right. And then to our next question, I think you've answered that question. I don't know if you have more to say. You know, your plan for the future regarding work and this business. What's the plan?
Okay. At the moment, I was actually, you know, looking to to study something that was in line with my healthcare. But then when I actually thought about it, I was like, oh, I'm still going to be in the same cycle that I was, trying to get myself out from. In the sense that I was still going to be, tied down with the 12 hours, 12 to 14-hour shifts daily. I was still going to, to lift and care for people. So I said, and meanwhile, I still loved my job. In fact, I have, great passion for my job. I don't see myself doing something else outside helping people. So I said, you know what, I can still be around these people. I can still, support them the way they can. But there's something that I needed to do that I won't be losing out, on the lives of my children and my family. And at the same time, something I can actually do to incorporate my business, So I said I have I read about it, and I said, you know what, now I had to just do psychology. So I put it for psychology. So at the moment, I am studying psychology, and then hopefully in September it was actually a part-time. I'll be doing the full-time from September. So so that is it. But the thing is, the reason I actually did that was because the plan and the goal is to make this my digital business, my main business. So that is my plan for the future.
Of course, and that's a very brilliant one. You've just given me ideas. When you are a mom, caring for people just comes natural. It's second nature. You always there. And what I like about my job in the hospital is, helping people out. It feels so nice when they say thank you, when they say, oh, you're so amazing.
Yeah, so
oh, I feel much better. It's so sweet to the heart, and you're like, oh, thank God. I'm doing a lot. That's a great plan, and I wish you the best. I hope that plan comes to pass very soon.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
And this is the next question now. This is a lot of people come up with reasons. For them, it's a good reason, but to some of us, we think there are excuses why they wouldn't, do a digital business as this. I don't know. Have you come across some reasons that people give you based on your experience or based on your your belief?
A lot. One of the very common one is people don't believe that digital business is real. People think it's just like it is a joke, like that is one. And then another excuse that people actually give is that they are not tech savvy. They can even hardly, open a Facebook account or even operate a Facebook. Another excuse that people give is, oh, they don't want to put themselves out there. Other excuses would be, oh, if you have, skeptical people around you, they want to see the results. They want to see you, making the money. They really want to see it because they want to see you the flashy cars, they want to see you with the big house, they want to see all those things. So with all those things, they are not even convinced. And among that, in fact, so many the excuses that people are giving, and to be very honest, they are genuine to them. It's real to them. But the truth is, if we keep giving excuses and you do not take action towards your own goal, nobody's going to do it for you. It is not going to come to pass. So so that is it. The truth is, people give, and as well, people used to, to put out this fear of, of being scammed, with in the digital world based on experience or based on hearsay. Yeah, but like I said, this is a genuine, legitimate business that you pay your tax at the end of the year. We are real people. Like, look at you now, you're putting yourself out there. I'm here putting myself out there. We are on live. This is not just it's not just a pre-recorded videos or anything. So if anybody needs to find out all about me, I am there. There is nothing hidden on my on my profile or anything. I'm just there and I'm real, and so are you, sister. So the thing is, my advice, to people is, first and foremost, do not jump into any business without making a research. make your own personal research. Make your decision that this is what you want. Develop a why you need to do this business, why you need to, to take a step further to doing this business. Because the truth is, if your why is very, very strong, that will be your the factor that's going to push you forward. Even though there will be times that you would have, you have like setbacks and everything, which is not different from any other life situation. But the truth is, if you think of your why, of why you want to do this thing, it will help you, to move forward. So with regards to if the business is legitimate or not, you wouldn't know if you are staying outside the fence without knowing what is happening. So I would advise that you do your research about the business, you do your research about us, and then see for yourself. My final piece of advice to viewers, who are still considering the business, is that first and foremost, there I can see Sister Oluchi. Click on her link. Watch the live webinar. I always recommend people to watch the live webinar. The reason is because you will be there. You'll be able to ask your own question. You'll be able to interact. It's good. Like if you miss the live webinar, you can always watch the replay. But the truth is, you are not there to get your direct question. Although you might be lucky to see the questions that you've you had in mind. But it's always very good. Like you know for yourself that if this thing is for real or not. So that's the advice I have for people. And like I said, sitting on the fence and just watching and just clapping wouldn't get you anywhere. Join in and see for yourself. And the fact that if you take, I've never seen any business as great as this. To be very honest, I am not just exaggerating. There was one thing that actually convinced me when I was given a 30-day, refund if you take a step further, to become a member, a life member, to join the community. You have the choice, to see what is happening in the community. You would know by yourself. Like if it is not something, if it's not for you, ask for your refund, and you are giving your 100% refund back. So why not? And the truth is, there are a lot of people who actually got refunded, and they actually went back, to the business, and now they are all, prosperous in their business.
Wow! That is a great chat. I'm so excited. I'm sure viewers are getting a lot of value, from this chat. And Vera has just given herself out, like she has poured her heart. What she would even tell a friend or a family member, about this business. There's nothing hidden. There's nothing fishy about this business.
No.
So if you have any of those excuses before, now the solution is there for you. We are legitimate, so think about that. It's a business that does not compromise your belief and your reputation. We have reputation that we have built over the years, which we don't want to throw away. If you've been deceived before, we've been victims ourselves. But it's just because we didn't want to settle for less. We still want that great life for ourselves, and we kept searching. And the good thing is there is no risk involved in watching our workshop, our webinar. So watch our workshop, take your own decision, your own informed decision, and see if it is right for you. And then if you think it's right for you, take a trial with us. A 30-day trial will convince you. If within the 30 days, like she said, you're not happy, ask for your refund. We are very reputable people who give it back to you. But those that have refunded in the past, they have come back, because no one has ever seen this gold mine and went back, without having a troubled mind. All right, viewer, this is where we're going to draw this curtain today for this weekly chat with Digital Entrepreneur. If you are on the other side of it, you have like a large family and you're kind of worried, you don't know what to do, my guest has given you an example. Please meet Vera. She'll give you tips on how she's killing it. She'll tell you how she's handling the whole thing, so you can get to her free of charge. She's not going to charge you for that.
No, I won't.
And if you thinking this business is right for you based on your lifestyle, if you have the same or similar concerns as us, if you're working in the health industry, you have busy family, you're looking for a legitimate thing, all of these benefits. You're looking for a system that can do all the job for you, that won't, you don't have to sell or chase people around, and you can have a business no matter your background or experience and all of that. And this business is a lifetime thing. If any of this is something that is sticking on your head right now, please watch our workshop. If you have access to me, please come to me. I'll give you the link to watch the workshop. And if you have access to Vera, please get in touch with Vera. She'll be more than excited. You can see she's so cheerful. She'll be more than excited to put you through on what you need to do. Go to our business page, go to our Facebook page. You have the link all over the place. Just click on it and just watch the workshop at the comfort of your home, and the rest will be history. All right. Thank you, Vera, for having you here. I'm sure in the future we want to have you again. Please say yes when we say we want to have you again.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I'll be so honored, to do this again. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sister, for coming. And thank you, viewers, for watching. This is where we say bye. We'll see you again. God bless you. Take care.
Thank you. Yeah.